Good morning, everybody. This is DearMamaSal on a drippy Tuesday morning. First of all, I just wanted to say what a great dinner I had last night with Marni. For those of you who know my friend Marni, we meet up every now and then. She's always an inspiration. She's always very funny. And it was so cute because she was obviously so looking forward to discussing what was going on in the world with me. She couldn't wait to start discussing what had happened in France or what had happened in wherever. And I thought that was really cute because she had some pretty strong views as well, which was awesome. And for those of you who may not have seen the vlog, I did a vlog because at the end of the meal, I was just thanking our server, Chris. I had this great meal at the Keg in Burnaby. And anyway, the server, Chris, I was just thanking him, about to thank him so profusely for the great service with a lot of humor that he gave us, when there was this absolutely delightful voice that said, "Oh my God, that's Benji's grandma." And of course, Marni had never been with me when somebody recognized me before, so she just fell about laughing. She said, "Does that happen a lot?" And I said, "It's happening more often now." And not necessarily because I'm, as all of you know, I'm not Benji's grandma, but it doesn't matter. I totally understood the reference. And Hannah, I loved you for it. In fact, I am not blood related to Benji at all. Hannah, if you happen to listen to this, Benji calls me Mum out of respect. I have been a mentor for Benji for quite some years now, and knew him way before he was Benji, as you know him. So understand, his reference to me as Mum is that of a place of respect rather as a blood relative. So anyway, it was delightful. It really was. And the sad thing was that it was so dark where we were that what I wanted to do was to get a really nice picture with Hannah. And so I went to go and find her just as we were leaving. Marni and I were going to do a nice little photo shoot with her. And she had just gone home. Rats. So Hannah, if you're listening to this one or watching it, whatever, just know we will be back. And I just hope that you're on shift when I come back, because we'll definitely get a couple of pictures for you. And do you know, and then Marni said to me, this is the whole thing about, does this happen to you very often? And it was like, how do you cope with that? How do you feel about that? And I said, I'm fine with it. I think it's delightful. And so far, everybody that has recognized me has done so with a great deal of love. I said, it's not anybody going, it's DearMamaSal, They've all gone, it's DearMamaSal, So, what's not to love about that? You'd have to be stupid not to enjoy that, right? Well, no, not necessarily stupid, but... Now, I wanted to make a point here about the trip from my work to getting to Burnaby. Normally that's about a 35-minute drive, probably 40 minutes. Yeah, somewhere around there, 35, 40-minute drive. Now, the weather was so bad yesterday. There was driving rain. The temperature was... Oh, I didn't give you the temperature today. It's a balmy 9 degrees here in southern British Columbia, and 49 translated into American. Sorry about that, everybody. So, last night it was 3 degrees, which would have translated through to about 36, I would think. It was cold. I was waiting for the white fluffy stuff to start. And Marni actually said that she saw cars with white fluffy stuff on them. I haven't seen that yet. I'm not going to talk about that. I don't like that stuff. So anyway, but the weather was horrific. It was driving torrential rain. Now, the funny thing about this was that Marni had actually begged off on Saturday. We were meant to meet up for lunch on Saturday. And she begged off because the weather was so bad. We were expecting a really bad storm on Saturday, and she didn't want to drive in it. Well, I've got news for you. This storm that was going on last night was way worse than the one on Saturday. So I was waiting for Marni to call it off again. But obviously Marni decided that perhaps wasn't a good idea. You know, who knows whether Sal would pick up for a third time. So she didn't beg off on it at all. But as I was driving, I was reminded of a very nice quote, and I can't do it verbatim because I can't remember it perfectly. But it went along the lines of, if you want to do something, nothing will stop you. If you really want to do something, nothing will stop you. And if you really don't want to do something, everything will stop you. So in other words, if Marni hadn't been that important to me, I could have easily phoned up and said, hey, the weather is really terrible. And she would have totally understood and probably been quite grateful, actually, now that I think about it. But I love seeing Marni, so I very selfishly did not cancel it. I just drove through this incredible storm. Now, there were times when I was driving that I thought I was insane. I should turn around and go home, probably much safer. The other thing was there were so many accidents because of the severity of the storm. And there were roadwork stuff going on where people, I think they were trying to clear drains or whatever because it was flooding and all sorts of terrible things were going on. It was like out of a horror movie. And here I am, white knuckle, driving along. Anyway, so I was so grateful. Why? Because I had my phone out and my GPS going and my Google Maps out, and I just literally told the program to go whatever route it wanted to take me to, you know, and it automatically will find the route that has the least accidents, the least whatever. And it may be that you are ooh, look at the level of that water. Wow. Sorry. And it, you know, it takes you on whatever circuitous route it needs to help you avoid the major snarl-ups. Well, at one point, I had taken so many left-hand, left-hand turns that I went, I hope I don't break down now because I actually have no idea where I am. And I had to literally put all my faith in my GPS system and Google Maps. Because for all I knew, I was driving in Outer Mongolia because really I had no idea where I was. Until it said, and the keg will be on your left. And I went, well, look at that, it is. It took me an hour and 20 minutes to do a 40-minute trip. That's how bad it was. And you have never seen anybody so glad to get anywhere in your life. So I was so grateful, you know, on a day that had started with somebody violating my space by vandalizing my car. It started with that, but it was, you know, ended up being a great lesson. So I want to just remind you all about that. If you really want to do something, you will do it. And if you're not really 100% committed to doing something, you will probably find an excuse not to. So I think it's a great reminder to yourself, and it'll help you see what your goals really are. What are the things you really do regardless, and which ones are the ones you give excuses to? Thought I'd add that one in. Well, here was a thing that really amused me. Now, I know I've got a strange sense of humor, and I know that there's a little part of me that's not the nicest person in the world. You know, I try and keep her locked up very tightly, but every now and then she creeps out. And this whole thing about the French massacre and everything else, you know, she crept out a little bit on that one. But last night, after I drove home, and luckily the drive home was absolutely great, and took me 40 minutes, when I got home, I was listening to the news. No. I got home safely, let Marni know I got home safely, and then put on the news, because I live with that, and I heard, just in the background of my mind, that the group Anonymous, I don't know if any of you know that group Anonymous, they're very famous hackers. And I'm sorry, but as a part of me is very amused at the moment, because the group of worldwide hackers has declared a cyber war on ISIS. And have already taken down a number of their sites, closed down a number of their Twitter accounts, and you know the video that ISIS put out yesterday? Well, they've already put up another video which says, you know, be afraid, we're coming after you. You know, sort of stuff. And then said, and we have better hackers. Well, I don't know what it was about me, and you'll have to forgive me, but I burst out laughing, and the idea of there being a cyber war against ISIS amused me. Because that's how they do all their communication. That's how they do, you know, so much of their stuff is via the web. And I went, wow. Anyway, so way to go, Anonymous. I've never been a big, you know, fan of Anonymous until which goes to show that it's all relative, isn't it? I've always said, you know, who are the freedom fighters? It depends whose side you're on as to who the freedom fighter is. Right? So, anyway, you'll have to forgive me, but I just need to tell you, I was very much I don't know why I was so amused. I burst out laughing, out loud, going, oh, nice, be afraid, ISIS, we're coming after you on the web. And we're going to shut you down on the web. And I'm going, hey, I like that. Anyway, so that was how I finished the evening, laughing. I guess I got home around about 10. And then, of course, you're going, now, when you're a vlogger, the next thing you do is you start uploading video. And I understand that everybody would have waited another 24 hours for video, but here was my point. I had already missed a video or two last week because I had some funk days, and I went, no, I've got plenty of footage, and I want to do it. See, if you really want to do something, you'll do it regardless. So what I did was I quickly put it into the computer. I realized it was probably a little bit long because of the addition of the stuff at dinner. It was a little bit long for one video, so I split it into two. And then I realized by the time I got it all edited, both vlogs edited, I actually had the first one rolling up into YouTube, and then while that was doing that, I was editing the second one. But I realized that it was going to take, you know, a couple of hours to upload to YouTube and do all its usual things. So I went, okay, fine. What do I know about my routine? I know I'm going to wake up 3 o'clock in the morning and need to go and have a little chat to my washroom. So I went, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get all this ready to go, and the second video I got already uploading as well to YouTube. And I thought, when I wake up at 3 o'clock, both videos will probably be uploaded, and I can quickly do the last bits and set them free. And it was great, because it's exactly what happened at 3 o'clock. I checked, yes, both videos were fully loaded into YouTube. I put on the words that I put on, the banner that runs along the top, and add these little card links for you, and then went, okay, there we go. And made both of them public, put the links up for everybody, and turned over and went back to sleep. It took me 15, 20 minutes, I think, to do that. That was all. And slept like a baby. So it actually is quite a good way to do a vlog late at night. And I will remember that for next time. I hope that you had a good day yesterday. I hope your day yesterday was as full of life as mine was. I had a start to the day that was a shock, and not a great way to start the day, with my car having been vandalized. But I went on to have a great day at work. And then I struggled my way through the traffic and the rain to have a great dinner, as usual, with Marni. And then came home and had a really good laugh. And the kid in me was delighted. That's what it was, wasn't it? It was the kid that was excited about that, rubbing her little hands with glee. My inner kid gets me into a lot of trouble. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Remember that life is life. It has its ups and it has its downs. And I know at least one YouTuber out there who is struggling a bit about whether they should continue. And it's not me. And so to that YouTuber, I just want to say, if you happen to be watching this, don't do it for the views. Don't do it for the money. And because I've been at this for 3 years, and I've yet to make $1,000 out of YouTube. So, you know, this it may well come, but it's not a quick process anymore. In the old days, I think you could make quite a bit of money on YouTube very quickly, and unless you are viral, it's not going to happen today. They've changed all the algorithms in such a way that it's just not going to happen. So my suggestion is, if you really love what you do, you'll do it anyway. And I can tell you there are regularly days when I wonder, should I continue, should I continue? And then I know I will have to continue, because almost every day I get a really nice comment from somebody that tells me it was well worthwhile. And by the way, I can't remember who it was that wrote to me this morning and said and said that I comment about the lawnmower on a video that I did. What was that video called? I can't remember now. Anyway, she said, I told the story about seeing this lawnmower, and I think the video was called Patience. Anyway, I had made the comment about the lawnmower, and she said when she heard that comment, she spluttered her Thai food tea all over her range. Stovetop, to those of you who live in America. You know, so I want to thank you for that, because I did burst out laughing myself when I read that, because I had this vision that And it probably wasn't one of those days. In the old days, I used to warn people to put down their coffee or tea, you know, when they listen to this. But I am so glad that you were. You see, it was your kid that was amused, right? Because you could imagine me doing it. You could imagine me on that lawnmower. On that very happy note. Look after one another, but most of all, please remember to look after yourself and understand that life's not easy or fun or fair or anything else. It's just life. This is Dear Mama Sal saying bye-bye for now.